Collective, welcome aboard, guys. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Welcome to Sunday Vibes. So, today I got the download. As I was looking outside the window, I noticed the moon. And right away I got the download of tell me the story about how the sun loved the moon so much. He died every night to let her breathe. Okay? There once was a moon as beautiful as can be, being the feminine energy. Only the stars could fathom, but the sun could not see. The sun so radiant, he burned so bright, the moon so luminous, but only showed her face during the night. She was untouchable, surrounding herself with a blanket of darkness. The sun would give anything to catch a glimpse of the moon illuminating the beautiful night sky. Until one day, when the sun was sliding out of the heavens, he caught a glimpse of her. She was peeking up, a rare side of her being exposed to the light. And while the sun could shine, he knew the moon could glow. Just as the stars were wandering into the night, the sun fell in love like a snowball hurtling down a mountain. How he wished to see her move, then the fleeting moments he shared with her at both dawn and dusk. But they were a world apart. Go, she whispered to him one of those nights, her voice as sweet and sorrowful as the last light of morning. Go and let me breathe, for you and I have decided fates. You illuminate the day, and I cast a glow one on the night. We will never be. Our connection would go against what all the people believe. All they know during the summer, he would stay a little longer, just in case she would change his mind. It was no use. Don't you dare abandon your blessing of light for my darkness. And those were the last words the moon was strong enough to speak to the sun. The sun could feel her peaceful soul, and it soon became clear he would die each and every night to let his true love breathe, for it would put an end to all her misery. A tale like this should be heard and seen, and no one will know. It is the story of you and me. Well then, what I was getting as I was looking at the sun is the feminine peaking, when I was looking at the moon, is the feminine peaking at the masculine as he shines, as things are being illuminated in his world, and as she, in connection to the spirit realm, is in her purpose doing the behind the scenes work. He is in his, trying to figure out his world, shining, more connected to the material world, but also it's a dance of balance. What I was getting is that at this particular time, you have a decided fate, they have a decided fate. Meaning, there is something that is being illuminated in their world, something that they're learning at this time, something that they are needing to see, and balance is being restored within whatever they're going through in their neck of the woods, and something is being figured out or coming from deep down in the surface for you. You could be getting more in tune with spirit and your spiritual gifts at this time. So you have glimpses of each other. Okay? As he lets you breathe, I feel it causes him sleepless nights. because he's shining during the day, but at night he knows that you are illuminating the night sky with who you are, who he sees in the spirit. And you know that in the day he's shining and doing his thing on his end. So I feel like at this moment, like I was saying, he is creating balance within his life and within himself by things that are being illuminated on top of him being out there and doing what he's doing. And for you, balance is being restored as well, like behind the scenes, something that he can't really see or fathom at this particular moment because your worlds apart. Your growth is different than theirs and vice versa, but at the same time, at some point when that balance is restored within whatever purpose you have, your deciding fates that you have individually and separate from each other, I feel like when that is fulfilled, if and when it is, by your free wills, of course, and whatever that is for you guys will be different. It'll be illuminated to you, if it hasn't already. I feel like when that is fulfilled, divine timing is definitely at play for whatever connection this is, and you guys will be able to come together. So there could be something specific about the solar or lunar eclipse whenever that comes up. Let me check real quick. I'll check it out real quick. I'm going to check for the, no, not that. Hang on a second. I'm looking. And I believe on the 3rd is going to be the Hunter's moon. Okay, I'm trying to see. It keeps writing what I don't want it to write. Yes, March 3rd, 2026. Remember, every time I do readings, March is very significant. Okay, so that is when the next lunar eclipse is. So there's going to be something very significant about the feminine aspect there. Okay, so whether you're male or female, okay, masculine, feminine, the sun, the moon, sun being masculine, the feminine being feminine, whether you're male or female. So there's going to be something significant about that specific time frame, March 3rd. Now the solar eclipse, it's like something opens up where, again, out of your free will, you can come together at that specific moment. Okay. So February 17th is the solar eclipse. Okay. So just a few days after Valentine's Day. There was also a reading that I was doing, a couple of readings where I got Valentine's Day was significant. So definitely during the lunar and solar eclipse, something is very, very significant. You guys may feel a stronger pull to be together, to see each other. Okay? Obviously, I'm talking about divine counterparts where divine timing is at play and there's a specific purpose that you both have. There's a specific, this could be balance within or balance within your life in general between, between the masculine aspect and the feminine aspect within yourselves. That could be career, spirituality, emotional, and mental, whatever that is for you guys. Okay. So let's get to it. Let's see what's going on here. Because it feels like a yearning, but because there's divine timing at play, there are things happening in your worlds or about to happen where it's going to require your full attention. Okay. Let's see what Spirit has to say here real quick. Resolving issues. Yeah. Solving inner conflict with others. Healing past trauma. Okay? So this could be an aspect of what one of you are doing right now or the both of you. Okay? So take it how it resonates. And we have rest. Listen to your body. Mentally and physically. Unwind. Okay? So taking some time to kind of go within is what I'm getting here, and to rest, right? Not so focused. And again, that's giving balance. If we've been too overly focused on career or, day-to-day mundane things, it's time to unwind, rest, and kind of, get back to balance here. Yeah, there may be some deception around one or both of you, okay? False illusions, scarcity mentality, falling into bad habits. Okay. And what I'm getting, because these are divine connections, is anytime we fall back on maintaining that higher vibration, that balance within ourselves, things tend to, the timing of it tends to extend this union. Okay? Because I feel like there's certain things that need to happen here for this to come together. It's very, what's the word? It's very kind of elusive energy. It's like it's there, but it's not. And it has to do with the balance between you and this person, the pull, and the things that you're doing individually. Resistance could push it away, or not being emotionally open or ready because of, healing pushes it away because, the balance is not quite right. That's what I'm getting. And boundaries. Know when to put up and let down your walls. Exactly. Like I said, resistance, knowing where to, and with whom to put those boundaries, right? Because there could be deceptive people around us where they're taking advantage somehow, some way. So we need to set boundaries. So what I'm getting is there's a level of self-mastery that has to happen here so that you guys understand how to be in whatever purpose it is you guys have together, because you understand something deeply within yourselves as an individual. So there is, rest, deceptive, or, thinking that this is never going to happen, thinking that, maybe this is just a fantasy or an illusion. All of this has to do with, right? It could do with limited perception, right? Inner conflict, trauma's trying to bubble up into the surface. You know, we're not perfect. We're going to go through waves of stuff. So there could be past pain, hurt, that still puts us in that mindset of maybe this is just not what I think it is, or maybe I'm just, you know, not ready, or whatever it is that we tell ourselves about this. And then, but yet we're open to all the wrong people that we need to set boundaries with, right? Because when this comes together, I feel like Spirit really does not want anyone to interfere with the connection. So to understand yourselves true and true is going to allow yourself to see people outside of you for who they are, and allow you to set these boundaries, allow you to detect deception of others, right? Where somebody can come in and pull you away from your person just by telling you something to deceive you, to pull you away from that person, or tell them something about you to pull them away from you. We have to really be strong enough and see things clear enough so that that does not happen. And that has to do with trust, trusting your intuition, your instincts, your decisions, who you are as a person, so that you don't allow yourselves to be swayed by others people's opinions, or, you know, manipulated by other people. Definitely boundaries is important, because people can be very damaging to the choices you make, and then you end up either settling or making a wrong choice, and then your whole life is a mess. So, you know, it is very important to understand thyself fully, okay? And resolve these issues and get rest so that you can think clearly. All right? Yeah, a new opportunity. Insights gained from a new experience, job, or partner. All right? So what I'm seeing is that all of this creates that opportunity for this new person, this new type of connection to come in, this new experience, you know, experiencing a new way of working, a new career, a partner that aligns with everything that you've worked so hard internally to be, you know, aligning with the best version of you, and vice versa, is what I'm getting here. All right, I hope you guys are still with me there. So let's get some messages here before I get tarot. So, you know, you're all on different stages of your journey. So for some of you, you may come into union either during February or March. There's something very significant about the lunar and solar eclipse. But again, this has to come from, you know, the both of you. If we're working on what we need to work on now, that's definitely a possibility. The distance between us kills me. Yeah, while someone is resolving issues. Okay? Solving inner conflict with others, healing past trauma. Rest. Every time my phone rings, I hope it's you. Okay? So it looks like somebody may be unwinding, a little withdrawn, and resting. Okay? Place the energy where it fits for you. Deception. False illusions, scarcity mentality, falling into bad habits. I want to treat you the way you deserve. So there you go. So if somebody is, this could be self-deception as well, or people that are kind of deceptive and they kind of influence bad behavior, you know, but somebody wants to treat you the way you deserve. Okay, they don't want you to see them as deceptive either. But definitely, if they want to treat you the way you deserve, they're definitely going to have to get rid of certain people. You know, that's part of the process of ascending and going on a spiritual journey, is to eliminate those who kind of taint um, what you're trying to accomplish within self and within your life. Because deceptive people tend to be jealous, they tend to be haters, they tend to send evil eye, they tend to talk a lot of crap behind your back. They're not really your friends. They, you know, they wait for that opportunity to backstab you, betray you, you know, things like that. So boundaries, know when to put up and let down your walls. I knew you were the one when I met you. Okay? What I'm getting here with boundaries is that somebody got scared here because they felt something they've never felt, and they knew you were the one. But instead of putting boundaries with maybe someone that was deceptive, whether it was another relationship or a friend that was deceiving them into thinking a certain thing about you or them going towards you, they should have put those boundaries with that person. And that's something that they need to learn, right? That is in connection to resolving issues, inner conflict, and traumas. So that's something they had to sort through and could be sorting through at this moment. Okay? Exactly. I ran because I wasn't ready for you. Divine connections, when you mirror somebody's higher self, the person they forgot that they were, when you mirror certain things that maybe society or parents or life has taught this person not to look at or face, or like emotions, or, you know, and somebody's just kind of on autopilot with some persona that was built through time and fake friends and, you know, limiting beliefs about soulmates or divine connections, or even about a limiting belief about themselves, their ability to evolve spiritually. Like, all of this is like, wait a minute, you know, this could just be fluff, fantasy, you know, especially when you have people with limited perceptions in your ear because they don't believe in things. So they project their beliefs onto someone and creates, you know, plants a seed of doubt. Things like this can happen. So that's why rest with and taking time for yourself needs to happen, so that someone can actually listen to themselves think and talk without somebody influencing them in a negative way. Okay? All right, let's get into some tarot here. Okay. Yeah, and also, you know, the feminine is not trying to have this person give up everything just to be with her. That's not the purpose here. The purpose is to allow themselves to allow them to figure it out, so that they understand how to connect with her, or with the feminine aspect. And that's also when they allow themselves to connect with the feminine side of themselves, they understand how to connect with the feminine, and vice versa. When the feminine understands how to connect with the masculine side of herself or himself, the same thing, you know, vice versa. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles and the Moon. Material world, spiritual. But it looks like he was stepping into the night. Into the night. Okay, Spirit. One more? Okay. Here we go. Death. Yeah. The distance between us kills me with death. This is how they feel every night, that they're not in your presence. It's like every night it's a death, like a little more transformation seeps in because we're solving inner conflict with others and healing past traumas. This is deep transformation, deep reflection. Okay? It's like, you know, there needs to be an end to inner conflict, an end to all these, past traumas, because it's no longer a part of who you are today or who they are today. It's a memory. It was an experience, and it was meant to either be forgiven and let go of, or just simply not allowing that to affect your today or tomorrow. Six of Pentacles with rest. Every time my phone rings, I hope it's you. Okay? So rest is giving balance instead of always giving time and energy to others. This is about giving time and energy to thyself. Okay? And I feel like this person is constantly giving towards others, and they needed to understand boundaries, because there are deceptive people that will just take. They're not going to set the boundaries for them or you. They're going to continue to take once you're handing it out. So that is something they needed to understand. And this could come from seeking outside validation from others because of past traumas and feeling like you weren't enough or they weren't enough. Okay? Deception with the Seven of Cups, right? I want to treat you the way you deserve, right? But it's almost like, how? Is this an illusion? Again, it's false illusions, scarcity mindset, falling into bad habits. So it's like, I want to treat you the way you deserve. I don't want to misjudge you in any way. But it's almost like their inner demons create monsters in their head sometimes. And they can't help it because, they're trying to understand what's going on here. So it's a natural process of elimination is what I'm getting with this whole deep transformation. Because this is about understanding that you hold the power. You are the author of your life, essentially. And the only thing that holds you back is unsolved traumas, unhealed wounds, and scarcity mindset. Okay? Having limited beliefs about the life you can achieve or have with someone or for yourself. You have all the tools to make it happen. Okay? But when you allow outside forces to dictate your life for you, you end up living their reality and not yours. And that creates mental imprisonment and a sense of rebellion, right? Because you feel locked or blocked or bounded to someone else's way of seeing things. It's like dogma, living by other people's results or opinions without questioning, why? Why do these people think this way? Why must my life go this way, right? Instead of living in Dharma, which is connected to the ethers, the universe. Two of Swords, yeah. I knew you were the one when I met you. And what I'm getting with the Two of Swords was they tried to set boundaries, and it was like out of sight, out of mind. But in these connections, it's not out of sight, out of mind. It festers because it's trying to reflect something that needs to heal within. It's trying to reflect evolution. It's trying to reflect the best version of themselves. But that can be a big challenge for a lot of people, especially when you've been looking at life through a certain lens in a certain way for so long. All of a sudden, there's this whole new world that somebody's realizing that they were never a part of or never shown and never understood they had within themselves. Okay, so sometimes it could seem like an illusion, but really the illusion is the life they've been living, because it's not connected to their higher self, and it's not connected to the spiritual side of who they are naturally. It's a made up reality that someone else wrote in a book or told you how to live, and it gets passed down generation after generation. Family, the way families kind of suppress their children sometimes to live a certain way, and it's this way, and to hell with everything else. But you have to take it upon yourself to continue to evolve and grow and ask those hard questions, because you yourself have your own path to walk and your own mind to understand certain things that maybe perhaps your parents didn't, or whoever raised you didn't. They raised you from their level of perception, and it's your responsibility to take it upon yourself to continue to understand things outside of that. Okay? Now, I'm not saying they were wrong or right. It just depends on how someone was raised here. And a lot of times it's not, they truly believe what they believe. And, so they want the best for their children. And, they pass it down because they too are living by dogma. It's without question. Um, you know, so there will always be people against this path because people fear what they don't understand. And it's like, I don't know about this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Instead of saying, well, if it resonates with you, it's something that, you should think about, at least self-reflecting on. There's nothing wrong with healing your traumas, right? There's nothing wrong with withdrawing and taking some time for yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with going within. You're not hurting anybody. If anything, you're just healing yourself. And when you get to that point of aha, that point of ascension, that point of seeing clearly, then you can really make the right choices for your life, because then everything will be crystal clear to you. And you're only going to choose what's best for you at that particular moment. And I feel like that's where this person is headed, is through their breakthrough. And that's where the right choices are made. This is a self journey at the end of the day. And the spiritual journey is not about, getting people to follow you into the spiritual journey. No, it's a choice, a personal choice that has to come from that particular person. And it really is about becoming the leader in your life, in your family, and showing other people that there is a different way. There is a happier way. There is a free way to be, where things flow and they're not connected to unhealed wounds, traumas, or, scarcity mindset, limited beliefs, lack mentality. You know what I mean? It really frees you from all of that just by healing. So, definitely not hurting yourself or anyone by doing this. So, just in case anybody here was like, I don't know about this. Well, you don't know. What's scary is you can't see what's in front of you every time you take a step. But that's how life is. It's about discovering. Okay? And not every discovery is meant to scare you or to be daunting. Okay? These are steps of discovery, enlightenment, and breakthroughs, and allowing yourself to be guided by things that you cannot see. but you will connect to, and you will know you're connecting with them as you continue to move on this journey. Ten of Swords with the Death card. Yeah, definitely this person is reflecting on their old traumas, okay? How they felt when they were treated a certain way, or, left for dead energy by other people, other relationships. And this could be you as well, so place it where it works for you. And the holidays tend to bring up a lot of nostalgia, a lot of past pain, traumas, and certain people that affected you in that way, or this person affected us in that way. So definitely this person is looking at that. And these are things you never want to go through again. But these are things that definitely affected the way we make choices and decisions, and the way we look at others, or the way we block ourselves from other people to keep ourselves safe, even the people that aren't here to hurt us. So, and then for some reason, the people that cause traumas, we tend to accept into our lives, and it's because it's trying to reflect that trauma that still is there and needs to be healed. It comes in different forms, in different people. Like, you ever dated like somebody, let's say your father or your grandfather or your uncle was the abusive person in your family, or aunt, mother, or grandmother, take it how it resonates. And then you end up dating that person in your life time and time again, and it's because it's trying to reflect, like, hey, we need to heal this back here, because you keep repeating the same cycle with different people, because it's trying to tell you, rear its ugly head again, hey, here's the trauma you haven't healed yet, that's why I'm here. So that we don't choose that anymore. We say, okay, chapter closed, I'm no longer thinking about that or dealing with that. I am healing that, looking at it, reflecting on it, and burying that for good. So I feel like somebody is burying something. Bury the hatchet sort of speak here when it comes to some sort of trauma that has been affecting their life and other forms of relationships. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, listen to your body, mentally and physically unwind. I definitely feel like the feminine here has been focused, on the bag, your career, getting yourself grounded and situated. I just feel there needs to be a little bit more balance into your day to day, and definitely get some rest. So you may be resting at this time as well, with these next few days into the new year. Just taking a couple days for yourself. Seven of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I want to treat you the way you deserve. So this is someone, you see this person, they're on a path, right? They're on the subway, but they're also learning in the process, right? Process of elimination with the Seven of Cups. What is an illusion? What is not? What is deceptive? What is not? Comparing one thing to the other to understand as they move forward here, one step at a time. That's what I'm getting here. It's like when he's looking at this menu and he's like, okay, well, last time I got this, it had this and I didn't really like that, but they have something here that I really like. It's like, okay, and it's like, why don't I like that? Is it because it's prepared this way? Or, maybe I can see if it can be prepared the way I like. And it's a metaphor for, the way they're looking at the connection or people around them, things like that. Where they were confused before, they're definitely trying to learn here, is what I'm getting, about people and their deceptive behavior, and people that are not deceptive, but trying to differentiate between that. And sometimes that can be hard, especially when, somebody comes across very likable and charming, and a lot of people like them, and you would never think that that person could be deceptive. And then all of a sudden, maybe certain people did not get a taste of that deception, but you did for some reason, or they did for some reason. And it's like, damn, you're not the person I thought you were. So then it creates trust issues with anyone else that comes into your life, because then you're like, okay, now I have to figure out if this person is deceptive or not. So, and again, that comes from going through that experience in the past with other people. Yeah, Seven of Swords. Okay. So what I'm getting here is they knew you were the one when they met you, and right away their boundaries came up and they self-sabotaged, because that's what they do because of the traumas. Okay. So what they said to themselves was, okay, I can't do this because, I'm not enough, right? I don't deserve this. Why am I meeting this person, right? And then all of a sudden they got in their head, and all this inner conflict and all this past trauma started to build up. So, it happens. So something was triggered here. But that's how it's supposed to be. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Okay? Again, you build up this persona and your ego is running wild, right? It's going the path that it was built up to go, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and it's like, wait a minute. One of these things is not like the other. What am I supposed to do with this? Can you get with this? And when you reflect someone's higher self, it's like, here you are, this beacon of light, right? Because you've done a lot of inner work. And even though there's a level of depth and mystery, I feel like the depth of you mirrors the depth of them that they've buried down and didn't want to look at because maybe they were taught not to look at it. So now it's like understanding and needing to be more vulnerable to be able to dig deep. And that can be scary for the masculine energy. So yeah, somebody definitely ran here. Nine of Cups. Okay. This person could be prone to overindulgence, or they met people that were very indulgent in things that caused traumas in their life. It's giving greed, indulgence, like just it's giving like people like being in competition with this person, and they're not understanding why. It's kind of giving like, because I'm hearing cast aside, like they were cast aside. Like they felt like they were in someone's way at a younger age here, or with people they met along the path as they were growing up. It might have taught them like to be a little indulgent themselves. I feel this is definitely something they're self-reflecting on. Or this person could have been on a path to self-indulgence, like with food, or sometimes sex. I'm not saying this person particularly. I don't see any cards about that. Or it could be shopping, or whether it's getting involved with buying a bunch of cars or expensive things or shoes, or whatever this is, to kind of fulfill or heal something here, which is only filling the gap. It's not really healing it. But there's an end to this behavior, whatever this is. It's like kind of like something to fill a void. that they were feeling inside, but that's the very void that needs to be healed. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. Yeah, you guys are very creative here, and you could be doing a lot of in and out, like when it comes to business or family, giving a lot of your time and energy. Definitely some rest. It's giving restless right now, okay? Knight of Pentacles, yeah, Four of Cups. Okay. Sitting back, reflecting, treading with caution, taking it one step at a time. You know, dipping your toe in to see if the water's warm. But they do want to treat you the way you deserve. So they are, whoever this particular person is, they are taking their time to really understand here. When they first saw you, they were like, oh shit, they ran. But now that obviously you're not chasing this person, you're doing your own thing, it it was their own inner world that made them kind of run or block or set up boundaries, not even talk to you or pursue you, because this is something they had to internalize first and kind of sort through and understand here. And also, this person would not want to come to you with all these unhealed wounds and inner conflict, because they will sabotage the connection. They know that about themselves. So this is someone taking the steps to analyze. Okay, they do get in their head quite a bit. They do feel like one of their fears is missing the opportunity. Another fear is, well, what if this isn't what it's cracked up to be, with false illusions? Okay, they just have a lot of things in their head right now. But they want to treat you the way you deserve, and that is very clear. I feel like this is someone that treats people right. It's giving empath giver, but they have been taken for granted before, and they want to make sure that they're making the right moves here. It feels like somebody you may not know very deeply, because they're very much in their head, okay, about a lot of things, not just you, but about a lot of things in their life. I mean, and this is the transformation with the Death card being here. Okay, that's part of it. Internally is, everything being shattered, so to speak, and then being rebuilt, perspective wise, reprogramming themselves, understanding things. You brought depth back into this person's world. Yeah, Six of Swords. So they had to learn a lesson here. So whatever other choice they made, that was a lesson for them. And they had to learn that. Yeah, Eight of Cups. Walking away, taught them a big lesson here. Because there is deception here. They might have gave an opportunity to someone that was deceptive, because it caused confusion. Knowing you was, maybe they thought was going to be difficult. And it's funny that people see it that way, because when I'm talking to a feminine that's on her spiritual journey and she is connected to her higher self, you're not here to take someone's freedom. You are freedom. You move freely. You go with the flow. When they pick someone deceptive or karmic, that's the jail cell. That is the trap. That is more of the same. That's mirroring past traumas and unhealed wounds. That is a repetitive cycle. But because they weren't healed, and they, that's what they chose out of confusion, right? and they never met anyone like you representing something they've never tapped into or knew was even a possibility, because they were so programmed. They were walking through life programmed and with self-doubt, self-limiting beliefs. Whoever they chose here, they ended up getting bored with. Okay? And they learned a major lesson. So they had 7 of Cups. They had you on their mind the whole time. They want to treat you the way you deserve. They know that you deserve to be treated right. They know after going through this lesson that you're not who maybe somebody else or other people said you were or cracked you up to be. Because those might have been people that didn't even know you. Okay? So they're definitely self-reflecting. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah. Knight of Swords. Now it's like a rush for time. It's almost like somebody had a real epiphany here. They walked away from whoever they learned a lesson from. Okay, whoever else they were choosing here. They had chose, whether they knew you or not, whatever path they took after seeing you, or even if they were already on that path and continue to be on that path after meeting you, it wasn't something that they were like ready to make a choice on at that particular moment. They really had to go through whatever this was to understand. And now it's like trying to come to you quick, like with the 4 of Wands being here. And the Lovers. Yeah. Look at that. So now it's like, I get it. I freed myself from this. I was juggling in my mind. I was juggling what this was all about. And somebody, I feel, had an epiphany here, and they get it. But you may be now in this Queen of Swords energy. Okay? With the Ace of Swords, truth in hand. But the Sun is here. I feel like all you need to know is the truth. All you need is communication here to understand what happened here. And that's the Sun. What I said, the Sun is getting the truth. Enlightenment. Things are being cleared in their energy. Okay? The Last Judgment. There it is. And the 2 of Wands, the crossroads. So there will be a union here. You will cross paths with this person. And there will be a judgment being made there. There will be lots of clarity with the Ace of Swords and the Sun here. But be careful, because we do have the 10 of Wands here with the crossroads. So choose wisely. Okay, 5 of Swords and the Chariot. Queen of Wands. Ace of Wands. Yeah, be careful here. Do not choose passion over something that just needed to be understood here, and which might have taken a long time. But you will have the truth and clarity as this person has it. Even if you always knew the truth all along, not everybody comes to that clarity as quick or as authentic as it was for you. I feel like this person had a very tough time seeping through, seeing through the fog here. All right. But they're definitely stepping it up here. All right, let's clarify some things here. Whoever this is for you, whoever resonates, the same for everybody. Okay. The World just came out. So definitely ending of a cycle and a new beginning. Tell me more about the 7 of Cups when it comes to the collective. 3 of Cups, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely regret getting involved with either someone else or allowing other people to influence their choices and decisions, okay? Yeah. And they know you're wise. They know you're an earth angel and you can manifest your clear intentions, okay? They know that you transmute energy. And something is being held back, whatever you're trying to manifest here. And it could be because there's a little bit of, for some of you, it could be a little bit of resentment, okay? Yeah, I didn't even see the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords, Queen of Swords. So some sort of offer is being held back, okay? There could be some sort of inner conflict, something that needs more balance, okay? For whoever resonates with this energy. And I know it has to do with the way this person went about whatever lesson they had to learn here that they didn't know they had to learn, but obviously learned it. 55:55 on the clock. So, yeah. Tell me more about this person. Or this is what they feel when it comes to you, that they're going to get conflict. King of Pentacles with the Seven of Cups. And I just clarified the Seven of Cups. Okay? Definitely, they fell for some sort of illusion. They reached for the wrong cup when the Four of Cups was here. The gift was here. And they chose the wrong thing. Alright, so this may be somebody that, you know, you don't like the choice they made, the decision they made, and I feel it's because you saw it for what it is, but they did not. They had to learn it. Yeah. Knight of Wands. This person was afraid of losing their freedom. Okay, they could have played the field even for a little bit. And they were in their shadow, definitely. Indulging, giving to their shadow self. You know, to shadow things. But that became a burden. Okay? People that are also, they're helping people that are a burden to them. And that was a dark cycle that they entered. And now you were the right cycle with the Two of Cups, the Emperor, the Two of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. You guys have a destined path. Okay? But it was like they were confused about it. Four of Cups. They were stuck thinking about this. And there's a Queen of Wands here trying to apologize to this person with the Devil. That's a low vibrational Queen of Wands that has to do with lust. So that Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands could be them with somebody deceptive in their life. Okay? There's a little confusion when it comes to that. But I feel like they regret. It caused them a great deal of sadness. King of Wands. Tell me more. Two of Swords. This feels like a friend with the Death card. Yeah. They're putting an end to, okay, this could be an aspect of themselves with the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands and the Three of Cups. This is giving, with the Death card, this is a part of them that is dying, essentially. Getting together with people just for fun, for a good time. I feel like that's when they didn't understand their worth and they had scarcity mindset. They got with what they felt they deserved at the time, and that's what I'm getting. And there's an ending to this behavior, absolutely. Self-deception, um, self-sabotage, that there is an end to that. Okay? So this is something that somebody definitely is more far along now and is putting an end to, is their old ways. Because they understand that that's not getting them anywhere. One thing I'm going to say, because I see that you cut this person off, and you started focusing on your own journey, you know, whether you were with them before or you just cut them off because you saw them making mistakes and you knew they had to do their own thing. I don't feel like you will be that Queen of Swords, Five of Swords to this person. I feel like that's something they may fear. But I don't think that you're in that vibration of conflict with them. Because I feel like all you really need to know is the truth. If they've gotten clarity, I feel like that alone would make you happy that they understand themselves and the people around them now and they see it for what it is. Because I feel like you saw it way before they did. But perhaps either they didn't want to trust or believe, or, they really self-sabotaged. And they could have been self-indulging because of some sort of past trauma that they had to um, resolve here. I was going to say something and I completely forgot what my point was. Oh, oh, um, I had a download about a masculine that he was like randomly talking to some karmic, and the karmic was like, man, you think you all that. And then he was talking to the feminine about, you're not with somebody because you don't put yourself out there. But he was looking at it from a low vibrational standpoint, because the mask, and I don't know if this is the one, but it looks like with the King of Wands, Knight of Wands, King of Pentacles energy, this person might have been in this energy of, you know, hitting it and splitting it, basically. Here for a good time, not a long time, with certain particular females, or, that was their mentality at the time, was, maybe making money and, nothing too deep, kind of surface level connections. And so the girl was like, you think you all that, because he was like talking to the girl, and then he was like talking to the feminine and saying, you don't have someone in your life because you don't put yourself out there. But he was, he wasn't understanding that the feminine ain't trying to just get with just anybody, especially when she's connected to her higher self. Not any Joe Schmo will do, or Jane Smith will do. That's just not how it works. You're about purity, celibacy, keeping your body and your spirit pure and clean, because you understand that these low level connections can strip a lot from you energetically, and they can siphon your energy that way. So you're not about that low vibrational way of thinking. And then this karmic, all of a sudden, like, she's telling him, oh, he thinks he's all that, but all of a sudden she was like all over him. And of course he was going for that. And then you walked away in this download that I was getting, and the karmic goes, oh, that's a control move. So there's a karmic trying to tell a masculine that you walking away was a control move. It has nothing to do with that. That's I'm not willing to stand here with a low vibrational person that doesn't understand his worth and is just kind of dipping his stick everywhere. That's what that was. You weren't trying to settle for that type of behavior or that type of mindset because you understand your worth. But of course, a low vibrational karmic is going to project what she would do in that sense and then make it look like that's what you were doing. So this person, I feel, was also heavily influenced by karmic energies, whether it was the karmics they were sleeping with or, male or female karmic friends or family members. Again, it's the mindset of the people they were hanging out with that has nothing to do with the way you see things and nothing to do with what was meant for this person to see once they went on their own personal journey, not because you said it was this way and that way, right? So I feel like when this person shuts down, they just overindulge. When they don't want to deal with something, they overindulge. They really, really self-sabotaged at some point here. But I definitely feel like this person is going within and putting an end to that type of behavior, or it's a very slow process with the Knight of Pentacles. Okay? It's very challenging for this person. So I do feel like this particular person was heavily, heavily influenced by their environment, and they did not want to believe anything else because they had a lot of people in their ear spitting their outdated beliefs onto this person. Okay? And maybe this person felt a real sense of responsibility to the people around them, and they were giving a lot to those types of people and looking for outside validation from those types of people when they were in a low vibration or still kind of in that energy. But the world is there, the death card is there, and so is the Six of Swords. So I definitely feel like somebody learned a major lesson. That doesn't mean you guys are going to be together. This could be a twin that forfeited their contract. Okay, so take what resonates from that poem, because it may be that you guys are purpose was to awaken each other and then go down separate paths with other types of divine connections. So that may be it for some of you, and for others of you, this is a chapter in their life that they're closing, and but you guys may come together to speak on something, even if you don't end up together. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay? So take it how it resonates. It's going to be different for all of you, and that energy has to kind of appear within your life for you to really know. But I do feel like you're going to have a chance here to get some clarity here. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it here because I don't want this to be super long. It's already long enough, and I know this was pretty deep, but that was the download today, and I got to talk on, what Spirit really pointed me to talk on here. It was pretty clear. So, maybe get you some messages. I'll get a few messages from this person to you, and then that'll be it. I knew it all along. Can we just talk it over? Yeah. I do feel like this person genuinely would like to talk to you, but they definitely feel that Queen of Swords energy. And you may not be in that Queen of Swords energy. Some of you may be, but that's what they feel your reaction would be, because they understand their level of stubbornness and denial that they were in. That's what I'm getting. This person was just not ready to sustain this type of connection because they weren't prepared. Mentally, physically, or emotionally, or spiritually. You are amazing. Alright? So they do see you. They see your worth. And they want to make it right. Alright. One more. Yeah, I want to make it up to you. Is it over? On that note, only time will tell, right? And it'll be different for all of you. So, one more. Yeah, do you still think about me? And I want you to enjoy your life. Okay? So, you know, I feel like whoever this is would like the chance to speak, would like the chance to kind of bury the hatchet energy, is what I'm getting. Would like the chance to genuinely see you face to face for what it is and what it's not. You know, differentiate what was being said in their ear versus how it feels to be around your energy um, at this time. But they're not looking, they don't expect you to forgive and forget. They don't expect you to be open to talking with them. That's what they would like. Some of you could be open to speaking with this person. They don't really expect like some sort of relationship to come out of it or anything like that. I just feel like this person really understands that they might have been a little unfair when it came to you. Okay, because of their own selfish behaviors or their own selfish ways or their own stubbornness and sense of denial. Okay, that's what I'm getting here. You know, yeah, they regret their behavior. Is it over? All right. So that's what I have for you guys. Let me know in the comments if anyone resonates. Okay, welcome in that new year with optimism and positivity. And, you know, your choice is your choice at the end of the day. Nothing is set in stone here. For some of you, you'll be walking a new path with someone that understands you from the beginning. Um, and for others of you, you will have the clarity and the connection that you have always desired with this person once they finally open up and come to you and tell you what was really happening within them. You know, it's going to be different for all of you. So I wish you the best. And thank you for watching Sunday Vibes. And I'll see you next time. Peace.